if you do not like and subscribe to this video right now. A manic, malnutritioned Martian will not abduct you. But do you really want to risk it? And today I will be reacting and debunking BizarreBub's scary compilation video 65. Let's get started.
An indoor home security camera captures something pretty creepy on footage. Not much info is given on this video, but it still speaks for itself. A child is walking through a kitchen when suddenly they stop to look at something. What happens next is beyond strange. Take a look.
This says something. Wow. Okay. It almost looked like something was trying to pull it away from her. Just like, and her like pulling it back and saying, no, 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 no. Like, it's mine. Now, to debunk, she could just be holding up her arm and shaking it. But her reaction and the fact that she's obviously talking to something, one would suggest an imaginary friend. But then it almost seems like something grabs it and tries to take it away from her there. And she like pulls back. Like, and her positioning, her posture as it was getting pulled, very strange, not a normal posture or reaction to how she might be imagining and playing out this scenario. Let's keep watching. So again, it's almost like something was pulling her toolbox or whatever that was. Again, she could be acting out something, but it's strange, it's peculiar.
The child, without warning, stops in their tracks and stares at something as though someone were blocking their path. They then have a conversation with who or whatever it was that they were seeing. Now, the possibility of this being a child with an overactive imagination isn't ruled out, but the way in which they interact with this supposed imaginary friend is what frightens the mother of this child. Rosie B., the mother in question, thinks that this may have been a ghost or some otherworldly entity that was forcefully trying to take away her daughter's toys.
So the way she's holding the object, you'll notice if you rewatch how she's holding her toolbox, her hand is down like this. When it starts getting pulled away, it does not move up as though something's pulling and tugging on it and she's trying to pull it back. Her hand stays down and just goes back and forth. So that one, it almost doesn't look as much like it's getting pulled away. The green bin of whatever, that was almost like shaking, and she was holding her hand so far outstretched. That's what made that one look a little more convincing to me.
But even more unsettling is the fact that when Rosie asked her daughter as to who she was talking to, she responded by saying that it was a little girl and a little boy. Overall though, this video is quite strange. The mother has yet to find out the history of her home, as she thinks this might explain this odd occurrence. But until then, this video remains a mystery.
That's a strange one. Like he said, like
I said, on May 30th of 2016, a single car accident had occurred on a Brazilian highway known as BR-262. The driver of this vehicle lost control of his wheel, causing him to veer off the road and crash his car. Unfortunately, he did not survive this accident. Upon hearing about this, a TV news crew was sent out to report this incident. They arrived on the scene and began to report, but after filming the incident and showing it to audiences, people noticed that something very strange appeared in the footage. The following is the video that was taken.
Parente das vítimas que seguia em outro veículo viu pelo retrovisor o momento em que a caminhonete capotou. A suspeita é que a motorista tenha tentado desviar de animal que cruzou a pista.
No local onde há muito mato em volta da rodovia.
me try and pause this. So I'm trying to visualize in my head what that could be. Some sort of animal or something that's popping its head up. Its movement might suggest a person leaning forward and looking up with their face. Now, this could also be potentially a investigator of sorts who is behind the vehicle on the other side, and they're doing their business, doing their work, and then they kind of like, as they're getting up, standing up, crouching down, looking at the vehicle, they kind of like look through and they see the camera. That's a possibility. Now, it doesn't look, I don't know, it's blurry, so it doesn't have like crazy defined features, but it does look like it has a human face with the eyes situated and a little bit of a nose ridge, possibly a bit of a mouth there on the bottom, so it does look humanish.
Upon zooming in, a face can be seen inside the car. It appears out of thin air and almost seems to...
And actually, watching it on repeat there, that almost actually looked like a cat. Like a cat head looking up.
...to be looking directly at the camera. Viewers believe
like
that this may have been the ghost of the...
If it was a cat, it looks like a very large head. But, I mean, could be a wild
driver of this vehicle, while others think that this may have been something else entirely. But as always, I'll let you be the judge as to whether or not something supernatural was caught.
Based on the size, if it was a cat, based on the size of its head, I think it would be too big to be a feline. But possibilities.
What exactly was caught on camera?
Maybe it is that worker. Maybe it's not even a face, but like the top of a hat or a shoulder or a back as they're like backing up and moving. And it's just someone working in behind the vehicle, collecting evidence and stuff. But it's interesting for sure.
As with most videos, this next one has little to no information, but with or without it, the video is still pretty spooky. It's late at night, somewhere in Chile, when a man captures footage of something that occurs right in front of him as he lays in bed. This is his video.
Somebody opens the door. So they might explain this, but my first question is, why is this guy lying in bed recording on his phone? Maybe he'll start talking to the camera. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I don't just sit with my phone and record the wall in front of me as I'm laying in here. Maybe he's a paranormal investigator. I don't know. Okay, the door moved a bit. But again, if he's a paranormal investigator, why is he under the sheets? So he's obviously not investigating.
Sale conchetumare.
So obviously, first thing I notice is the way the door is opening, it's not gravity. So it's not like the door is slowly just swinging open with gravity. It's stopping, it's creaking, there's friction there that you can tell because of the creaking. So it's not that, I should say. There could be some sort of wire or cord hooked to the bottom of the door. Someone under the bed is pulling that wire, opening the door. the way he reacted, obviously, this has happened before. So that's why he was recording. It's not like he was surprised. He knew it was going to happen. Maybe this guy just lives in a haunted house or something like that. So you'll notice right off the bat, his camera didn't look down at the bottom of the door. If there was anything down there attached to the bottom of the door, while he's doing this investigating in here, someone could have removed whatever the device was to pull the door open or get things out of the way if it was staged. Well,
it's 3 in the morning when all this happens. The door opens just a few inches before fully opening after being told to do so by the man. It happens almost immediately, as though whatever was behind this door was listening attentively. The man then goes inside, but finds no one in there.
He could have even had a wire in his left hand running along the side of the bed attached to the door. And so he's even pulling the door open himself.
Naturally, he was shaken to his core upon realizing that something paranormal had occurred. The man believes this, as do most viewers of the video. But of course, you be the judge as to whether or not that's the case. Was the door opening on its own something paranormal? Or was it something else?
Too hard to say, too little information.
The following video comes from Simon Newcomb, who states that a friend of his daughter's was walking through a wooded area that is believed to be extremely haunted. Westminster Woods is a forest in England where many people have reported paranormal encounters.
Like a cool place.
From small, shadowy figures that lurk behind trees, to the infamous hellhounds that are said to come out at night, Westminster Woods has been a place of unusual activity.
So the first thing that kind of like popped up, I just wanted to pause really quickly here. Pareidolia, which is, I believe that's how you say it, where you see faces where there aren't faces. Now, it can go beyond faces and go to humanoid figures, but the first thing that I kind of saw here was this is a human head. This is their torso, their waist, arm coming outstretched like it's reaching forward. So right off the bat, this place is kind of creepy, and you can see where you could possibly see something that's not real. Just a tree positioned in a specific way that makes it look like something that it is not. I just want to point that out. Pareidolia, I believe is what it's called.
It is also said that pagan rituals have taken place here, some of which have included sacrifices. One evening, as a man and 2 children explore Westminster Woods, something very unsettling is caught on camera. This is what was captured. Be sure to look closely for this one, as it happens real fast.
I'm a little confused. The story kind of changed there. First it was her friend's friend was going in, and now they're saying the video is a man and a daughter went in there, and this is the video that they captured. I'm a little confused.
Walking for like an hour now. It is pissing it down. These two are doing my head in. It's getting dark. It's really cold. I've no idea where the dog is.
There's something in the background here. I missed it. I thought I might have seen something over his left shoulder. Right here. Yeah. That's...
Little did he know that a small shadowy figure was caught in the background. It stands in place for a couple of seconds before ducking down beneath a tree trunk.
Okay.
It recedes away as though it saw the camera and didn't want to be seen. It is almost similar to an animal's reaction when it spots a person nearby. Yet Simon doubts that it's an animal and instead believes that it might be a spirit that haunts this forest.
I don't know. I think his explanation was actually pretty good. Because it's so far away, camera quality is blurry. It could be a deer. I'm just going to back that up for a second and try and pause it.
Simon doubts that it's an animal and instead believes. believes that it might be
it's almost it's
person
almost
nearby.
like the shape of a deer.
Yet
a
Simon
little
doubts
bit.
that it's an
So we have the kind of neck coming up right here, the head area, and as it ducks down, you can almost see a back end right along here, which would make it almost look like a body of a deer. It could also be a human just standing, and as they bend, their butt kind of sticks out, and that's causing
an animal, and instead believes that it might be a spirit that haunts this forest. Whoever or whatever this was is a mystery.
Evidence like
But
this
unfortunately,
is so...
it seems we won't know for sure what this was until more info is given.
It's potato quality ghost. I mean,
it was during a
really
podcast that one of the hosts had shared some chilling photos that were submitted to him by
I wouldn't immediately say it was paranormal.
Viewer. It goes without saying, but what was captured in one of these images has left many viewers disturbed. The person who submitted the photos states that the reason they took them was because they felt like they were being watched.
Okay.
They were lying in bed when all of a sudden they get the strangest feeling. For some reason, they can't help but feel that someone is outside their room, standing in the doorway and looking at them.
One of the best tools we have for finding paranormal evidence is our own bodies and our own feelings. The feeling of being watched is generally a sign that something is going on. You don't just always have a feeling like you're getting watched or that you're being watched, right? We have senses, maybe a sixth sense, maybe not. But whether it's you hear something subconsciously, see something subconsciously, just like peripheral vision, a corner of your eye, you thought you saw something move, you have this feeling of something going on. Our bodies are the best tool that we have for reading a situation of paranormal.
Feeling very spooked, they slowly take out their phone and begin to take various photos of the passageway outside the room. What they captured has left them shook. These are their photos.
Not seeing anything there. Maybe something moves through. So this right here looks like it's part of the banister. So I wouldn't think that's anything. And now there's a little bit of a blur right here, right in that corner. Now that could just be them adjusting, moving their phone. You know how you get a little bit of motion blur when, or pixelation when a camera's in motion. So that could be explained away as absolutely nothing. Let's see if it gets bigger. Oh, okay, that looks more like a face now.
In the distance, there appears to be a face peeking at the person inside the room. It wasn't until zooming in on the photo that the person who took it saw the mysterious figure.
Again, it could be what I said before, pareidolia. Could be the lighting hitting this pole. We can see. It's so hard to say. Again, it's so blurry, right? But if you look at the lining up of this banister pole and this one right here, it lines up perfectly. So this would be kind of the knob on the end of the pole, right where this face is. So it could just be pareidolia, where you think you're seeing something that isn't actually there. Just lighting effects or something. The way the light hits.
Although pretty creepy, they're somewhat glad that they caught this, as it reassures them that they're not losing their mind and that there is in fact something very strange going on inside their house. Now it's worth mentioning that the person who submitted these photos states that he played with the Ouija board prior to this incident and believes it's the reason why strange things are happening. But what do you think?
That adds a little more credibility, actually. Depending on what they did with the Ouija board and whether they've ended their conversation properly, kind of let someone in through the door, so to speak, and now they're haunting them. I've heard these tales many times before, where you played with the Ouija board and now you see shadow figures everywhere.
Did this person actually capture something paranormal, or was something else captured? Two friends are goofing off inside a house when they capture something pretty creepy on camera. One of the friends appears to be doing an online challenge, while the other records him doing it. However, what happens moments later leaves them both terrified.
Right, do it again, because I'm filming this time. No, go on. Right, yeah. How many you got left?
There's only 2 left, so it's...
Right, well, yeah, just do 2 then.
Yeah, this is, I'm gonna read some Mentos and then drink, well, it's not Diet Cola, it's Pepsi Max, but...
Mentos with
It's busy, it should work.
pop. Or soda, as some people call it. It foams up like crazy.
Working?
No.
You should, go on, give it a bit. Give it a bit. What's it?
No. What?
This seems very staged.
Dude.
What?
Dude,
What?
look.
What?
Look. Look, let me out.
A rattling sound can be heard inside the other room before the door opens and things fall on their own. Not much else is known about the video,
so right off the bat, seems staged. I mean, they give an excuse. He's halfway through the challenge. Oh, I'm going to start recording now so you can do it again or whatever. Okay. And what even, it could be anything that swung that door open. Could be gravity, it could be a breeze, whatever. And the door swinging open, once it hits that final kind of end, it causes a juggle of the whole unit. That juggle then causes whatever's at the end there, a skateboard or something, to tip over. I mean,
so it's hard to be sure if it's real or not.
You see stuff moving,
but regardless, the reaction appears to be genuine. Had they captured something paranormal or not?
So yeah, I think the door just swung open. Gravity, as it reached its end of its movement, it shook the box that the stand was leaning up against, the ironing board, and then the ironing board just fell over.
The following video comes from a man named Jacob, who lives in a house that he recently inherited from his grandmother. Jacob isn't too sure if he wants the house, as it's out of shape and requires a lot of fixing. But after the following night, it seems that he's made up his mind. It's late at night when Jacob wakes up to a noise inside his bedroom.
Creepy clown like that sitting staring at me when I sleep. You know, why not?
I just heard knocking from the closet.
Wow. I would call that banging, not knocking. That would be frightening. Could be something falling over inside the closet. Look around, please. So at initial glance, nothing looks like, I don't see anything that I would say, oh, that's what made the noise. Like something falling off a shelf or multiple things falling off a shelf making bangs.
A knocking sound can be heard coming from his closet. However, nothing is inside when he checks. But then moments later after checking, loud banging can be heard from the other side of the room. Clearly, Jacob was spooked out of his mind. Yet something else happened that Jacob didn't realize until watching this video. At the start of the clip, The clown doll on top of the drawer can be seen staring at the bed,
it was looking right at him.
But then later, it is seen staring at the door. Ever since seeing this...
Nope. No. I didn't realize it until the narrator said something, but then I was like, yeah, I was looking right at him. Oh, man. Creepy dolls moving. Oh.
Jacob has moved the doll downstairs to the living room. He states that it came alive that night and is glad that he caught evidence of it. Although pretty creepy, this video is still a mystery. But thanks to this incident, Jacob has made up his mind on whether or not he should keep the house. All in all, what happened that night has left him beyond terrified.
So, I mean, he spent enough time in that room for someone to change the orientation. We don't see anything on the right side of this room here. Anyone could have been hiding over there. I don't know how many people sleep in socks, but he's wearing socks, laying in bed. Doesn't appear to have a blanket or anything. He's just got like a doily. Some knitted thing hanging over him. And he's just spending the night in here. And if he's looking to buy, why is he spending the night there? There's a couple loopholes suggesting this could be staged.
This last video comes from India, and it shows a woman walking late at night.
I actually had like some
she appears to be scared as she constantly looks over her shoulder. It seems that she might be seeing things, considering that it's dark outside. But then, all of a sudden, something is captured that seems to suggest otherwise. This is what was caught.
First impression. Okay, so we see it in the bottom left-hand corner where she's running to. There's a cat that darts across the screen. There's also a little glowing kind of bit of fuzz or something that some people might call an orb. I think that's just some sort of reflection off a bug of sorts that might be flying around or something. She's kind of running and screaming, causing a commotion late at night. The object in the far distance to me looks like a person in a hoodie that is maybe saying, hey, there's a lady, she's screaming and running, maybe I should check on her. And you see how they kind of like come to the edge and they're like leaning and looking like, is that person okay? That's my first impression watching this video.
Initially, the woman looks at something that doesn't appear to be there, but then, seconds later, the figure of a man appears out of nowhere. It shows up exactly where the woman was initially looking. Viewers believe that a ghost had been caught on camera, yet some believe that this was an actual person who for some reason couldn't be picked up by the camera at first.
I mean, when they first kind of walk in, it's almost like it's fuzzy, it's blurry, like they're out of the range of the video, and then they're walking out of the shadows, and the video is able to focus.
Whether ghost or not, this encounter is pretty terrifying, as who, or whatever this was, just creepily stands there looking at the woman. But as always,
I would say this person's running and screaming late at night, and this other person is thinking that they're crazy. I don't think that they're...
What are your thoughts on this?
Overly creepy at all.
Thanks for watching.
If we had more evidence, maybe more of the story, her tale of what she was running and screaming about, maybe we might have a little more evidence to suggest that it could be something paranormal, but right off the bat, I would say that's just a human investigating as to why this lady was screaming, running around late at night. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you have any explanations or debunking of some of these videos, if you agree with what I said, or have suggestions of your own, let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.